Hello, friends. As expected, I'm doing here another of the videos that I will put on YouTube, and this one refers to a match I had some 2, 3 days ago, and it was about uh, a typical 1v1 match where I stood as Persians and my opponents was Sicilians. Now, the thing about this particular match and why I'm going to show it, it's because uh, I decided to call it the the Great Griever. Uh, for those who are familiar, you probably know what's the act of grieving in game. For example, there are many forms for that, but here it's more like let's say the opponent is completely defeated or on the verge of being defeated. He cannot recover from that, yet he still chooses to continue the game. Not in a let's see what I still can do, but just to be toxic. So the guy here was essentially just staying for the sake of staying until the very last minute. And literally, you'll see what happens during this game. And it was so obnoxious and just so um, passive aggressive that literally it felt like the whole thing about his gaming experience was to, you know, just delay the whole thing as much as possible. It sounds a little bit too abstract, but let's just watch, and then you'll figure it out. Let's find that out. So this was my match, uh, and here you'll see it from kind of from my perspective. Then you'll see what he's doing. Okay, I start to do my two houses, as Persians. No big deal. I'm not going to use view lock in this particular feature, and then I'll show you what the guy is doing from a certain point in time. It's important that you understand it from my perspective because if you start to see the whole game, then you might lose focus on how exactly I was feeling at the time and, the experience I was going into. Anyway, that I thought it would be like a normal match that I would be facing either an experienced player, which that's the regular situation nowadays. You face experienced players, and the thing here was, let's see what I come up with. And I was thinking, okay, this opponent is Sicilians, and as I know, Sicilians usually they can do their donjon thing. That is one possibility. Sometimes you have opponents who, as soon as Dark Age come, they start to build their donjons, even though donjons cannot fire arrows. They cannot militarily attack any structure or any enemy unit. By Dark Age. By Feudal Age, they can. They already behave like towers, but a little bit stronger. And so I was thinking, we'll see how it goes. But with Persians going Castle Age, I'll have better units. And even if my opponent decides to go Dungeon, that will be more than comfortable. So what I was doing here is the basic thing, scouting the map, not just, I mean, don't say the map, but rather the surroundings of my base, getting the herdables, and doing the lumber camps, houses, all those things, right? And for now, it seemed a very normal game. Um, I played hundreds of these, if not thousands on total. Oh, here we have our Red Scout coming to visit our base. The Red Scout coming to visit our base, um, which is fine. And I think by this time, I think I took the boar. I was going to take the board. I would be building a mill. I didn't build a mill because 85 wood. You cannot build mills with less than 100 wood if you're Persians. I think there are civs where your mill is cheaper, but not. It's not this case for the Persians. I do get free wood though, 50 wood plus, and also 50 food. Basically, it's 100 free resources. And here I send in a way, inspired by Red strolling into my base, I decided to uh, go out and about and find out where Red would be. Here, well, it was not here, obviously. So I switched to this side. The reason I decided to add these videos, no, it's not because of the game outcome in itself. It's because you have something which is kind of extraordinary, and that is, I could call it. If you've seen, those Bible stories where there's a giant versus a dwarf, the David versus Goliath kind of thing, and here we'll have a similar thing where the would-be favorite person to win, and I'm referring to the opponent player. He's you'll notice after some point in time, uh, things might turn a little bit different. I don't know. Like this is a small spoilers, but we will see what happens. It's important to know how the whole thing unfolds. But I tell you that this was not the typical match, and it ended up to be actually uh, quite surprising, and I would say I even got baffled at certain times. Well, you'll see. This is actually one of the many videos I'm not many one of the videos I'm going to put. There is already a previous video of my session, what would be typical session on that I've uploaded. It's like 3 hours, but it has different games, so you can pick and select. There's 1v1s, and there are even 2 team games. I particularly recommend the team game. The last team game was a little bit of a stomper, but you can watch all the games. They're all interesting and funny in themselves. Here I go for the second board. I already went for the first, and still I did not figure out where is the opponent base. It's not a problem because for those who know how I kind of work in terms of exploration, I don't care anything about exploring the corners. I couldn't care less. I just do what I think is the most righteous course here. Okay, here I tried to trap the scout, but it's a feudal age scout. Not only is he stronger, he is also able to uh, go faster. And usually this screams, if I'm open and if the guy comes again, watching my base, he's constantly scouting my base. What does that ring to you? Scouts. Exactly. So I'm thinking, I'm open. The guy is already feudal age. He was relatively fast. Okay, I was not the fastest, but I think that he was in comparison faster than me. And the thing that comes to mind is if an opponent goes to a faster feudal age to you compared to you, and you're kind of late, if the opponent is an actual cavalry civilization or can make scouts, you can expect him to eventually come with scouts because it's tempting. I mean, if you are still stuck in Dark Age and your opponent is already feudal, can go with scouts, and if you're still kind of open, you would try to go scouts, right? Well, let's watch what happens. Here, by this time it will be impossible for my opponent to try to come, assuming I'm fully walled. And I tend to double inspect my walls, so you will not get me, like, by surprise. And if you think that I'm always going to do walls in every single game, well, I don't have a copy-pasta strategy or solution. So I regret that you think I always do the very same thing, always and always. I don't. I tend to improvise, and sometimes I'm forced to great lengths. And that is where another video will come. Oh, look at this. 3 scouts. See? I was right. Now you might think, why the hell I didn't engage the scouts? There was a point, my friends. Cause you did see those scouts following me, didn't you? And what? Assuming let's think a little bit. Why would I do that? Why would I pursue at my scouts south and have three enemy scouts pursue me when I could just either fight them or go anywhere else? Points if you understand why I did that. I will not say it because, it's like those little challenges. Um, and this is part of the reasons why I'm putting these videos out. To in a way to inspire you that those tricky moments in game that can sometimes make the difference and even improve your skills here in this particularly challenging gaming environment. Uh oh, you almost missed this, right? Well, I was about to hunt these chickens, but no. When I saw the scouts coming, it was not a good idea. And look now, look at my opponent. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four, five. Six scouts. Six scouts hitting their heads in the wall. They're hitting the wall. They cannot get in. So much food invested, so much fast speed, feudal age. Who knows? He might have not even walled. We don't know. I've not checked it. And all that food, all that huge investment, and it is what, 800? No, not 800. Just kidding. 800 is 80 food for each scout. I'm not sure if it's 80 food for the Sicilians. Let's check out Sicilians. 80 food for Sicilians. So 80 by 6, that's a 480, right? 480 food to the damn hell. To smithereens. Boom. And he could have used that food to, I don't know, make more villagers, fast castle, you name it. But no, he decided to go all in for Scout Rush. And this thing, I would say, usually works. But, you know, let's see how he fared up and what kind of things he still managed to do with these scouts. So now you'll probably see him trying to breach the walls. He goes here. And he also goes for the gate. Obviously, the weakest spot compared to the palisades. And he cannot get in. He cannot get in. He's continuing to use 2 attack points. 5 scouts attacking and 1 is idle. So this guy is not even attacking. I have 2 idle villagers, but remember, I'm not losing any villagers, and I have not wasted 480 food. So this probably means I have more villagers than him. It also probably means that even in spite of the idle villager time, I'm still able to do a few things. But let's also remember one thing. The fact that I was forced to do all this wall, it probably means I had additional idle time. So he still is ahead. And I would say he's ahead because, well, that is a bunch of scouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 scouts? It probably is. And I tactically use my spears here. Finish 1 scout. And deplete the HPs of another. I could have done more, but scouts are faster, and I just cannot hunt him down. Either way, I go for blacksmith, I already have a market. It doesn't look that bad for me. The only problem is that my opponent, more than likely, since he went for the scout rush, he might not have walled anything. Which means not only he did not waste any wood, but also he was able to put his villagers into more efficient use. Because for the 6 or 7 villagers I had to use here, not only I wasted wood, I had to waste wood, it was an investment, but I also had idle time, so these villagers could be gathering wood and they could just be getting farming or other resources. That too was forced idle time. 3 villagers here, but I would rather keep my base safe than expose myself to unwanted dangers. Because if those scouts break in, as fast as they are, there is no way I can catch them. And it would not make sense for me to try to build a counter scout army to face his scouts, because then I would lose all the food resources, and sometimes copying your opponent is not the best option. Here he clowns around my spears. That's really a whole bunch of scouts. Oh, and you can see that the upgrades. Forging and the cavalry armor. I also did one upgrade, the armor upgrade, so I technically would be faring okay. But I don't have forging. The forging is expensive. Well, I decided to queue it. They're strong. Exactly. So, the fact that I was not able to get forging on time, I tell you this guy was a rusher, he was fast. It meant that it would be difficult. And I'm not joking around. I put 2 villagers to repair the gate, just in case. The guy is desperate to get in. You can sense it. Really desperate. I know. I'm not letting him in. I decided to add a second barracks because he's really mad with his scout rush, over committing scouts. This is not a player playing by you know, cost effective. He's just angry now. He just wants to commit scouts. He wants scouts and wants to break in with scouts. So that's an emotional play. Because obviously, if I would be in this position and realizing that my opponent would be fully walled, no, I would not keep investing in scouts. But this guy is just stubborn. He thinks that if something doesn't work, you just have to double down on something that doesn't work. And he sees, oh, the gate is burning now. The gate is burning, so yeah, this time I get in. I'm not so sure about that. Look at the HPs of the gate. It still continues to repair sustainably. Oh, but now here he tries another trick. Breaking this diagonal wall so that he can come here, you see? Through this side of the house. And he's about to break in. He thinks that I'm not seeing it, but look. At the very last second, no. No. Just denied. He goes every place around, continues to making scouts. The person that just makes this amount of scouts, is already committing to feudal. This opponent wants to commit to full feudal wars. The amount of food he spends on these scouts is unsustainable for a fast castle. That's not sustainable. I surely did not took the wild chickens, but it was the price to pay. And of course, he has a lot of scouts, so it means that he can technically counter my spears if I don't have a sufficient number. And I'm going up, as you can see. I'm halfway to Castle Age. Now, probably attempting to break in through this area. I close it. To repair it. I put 2 villagers to repair that wall. I even send my spears there. And finally, 2, 3. I got 3 scouts at least. 4. He lost a lot of scouts with this kind of stubbornness. And I can just continue to queue spears in my 2 barracks. They're cheap. I have resources for that. I could even make a 3rd barracks. 3 attack points, if not 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have to commit more villagers to repair the thing. Castle Age, which means my buildings are slightly stronger. And you can try to guess what's the next upgrade that's going to come. Pikemen. And then the second, Squires. Again, the guy just overcommits in scout. This player just wanted to do a scout rush. He's not playing by logic. He's playing by, he's just emotional. Now he thinks, I'm about to get in. I'm about to get in. The door is about to break. The door is about. No. And now I got pikes. Those spikes will more than well get those scouts. And I also have the secondary armor. And eventually, iron casting is coming. It's not looking good, my friend. It's not looking good for you. What are you going to do about that? So for now, I defended against that. And I'm also getting camels, you know, because counter cavalry units, right? Making a second town center. I thought that the game would normalize by now. But oh, what is this? Donjon? Donjon here? No, no, you cannot have donjons. Oh wait, I first forget his scouts. You see, this is another critical point in the game. Should I attack the villagers building a donjon or the scouts? I cannot choose both. If I choose one and the other, I cannot have the same results. And I decided to go for scouts. I mean, my pikes have some upgrades, they have armor. They could be okay against the villagers on their own, just the villagers. But with these scouts, I cannot toy around. I have to use the attack power and the armor of these pikes. That's why I invested in them. So let's see what happens with this fight. Boom! Boom! Look at all the scouts going to ashes. What a massacre of scouts. And I also attack the fort, you know, the donjon. I use my 2 camels here conveniently. And I'm also queuing knights. Another scout bites dust. And he continues to go through the gate. This guy's stubborn. He's stubborn. You know, it's one of those guys that if something doesn't work, and you tell them straightforward that it doesn't work, doesn't matter. They just continue to do that. They just continue to do that. Because they told it, they were told that no, something will have to work. I just clown it down. Oh, that's not going to go well here. He's going to lose vills. Of course, I might be subjected to this area breaking in. No, no, because I'm protect. Ah, I said GG. Now by this time I could understand. The opponent tried a feudal strategy to just get all in. It failed. He lost not only all his military investments in scouts, he made at least 10, 12, or 20 scouts. So if he made 20 scouts, that's a total of 1,600 food. 1,600 food thrown to the bin. And he also now loses the villagers, the idle time, everything. So I would say the normal situation here is yes, you resign, right? You have lost your feudal all-in. And he said GG. So what would be the next thing I would expect from him? A resignation, right? Or eventually he would stay for the next 2 to 3 minutes, but not much. He said GG, so I'm right. He said GG. He said GG, right? So why is he staying in game? I said GG in the way that okay, I acknowledge that he said GG. How the hell are your palisades so strong? Do you know what this seems to be like? This is like whataboutism. Um, he said GG and then he diverts the topic away, pretending that he didn't say GG. So it's like you're talking about um you're talking about some problem in the room and a dude just starts talking about the weather so that you don't talk about the problem. I mean, if you want to gaslight, good luck, but everybody will see that. And here you can see that these cows, they have no way. I don't get it. Again, he continues to try to incite me to talk, but I'm not distracted. Then I need to just clear these scouts out. That's my priority, and not engage in chippy chat with an opponent that, when he says GG, doesn't mean the GG says. Well, in a way that it feels like he's just trolling me. And by the way, my palisades are not so strong. They're just normal palisades. I don't get any particular bonus. And if you're smart enough, you probably understand that when he's saying, "Why are your palisades so strong?" is just a way to gaslight my skills in properly repairing palisade walls and gates. Because he does not want to admit that I'm skillful there or that I did something right in this game concerning the art of repairing palisades appropriately and all those things. He instead dodges he focuses the attention into something else. He takes the focus away from my merit and competence in properly walling, my base, and shifts it to you only managed to survive because your walls were stronger. That's what he's implying, is implicitly saying. When he's saying, how are your palisades so strong? He's just telling, you're only able to survive because your palisades are stronger, which is a lie, because my palisades have the same HPs as everybody else's civ. And this was his way to gaslight my competence and refusing, it's the refusal to assume that I acted very competently in defending my palisade walls. In what concerns this game, uh, it could be a little bit more humble, but humbleness is not a characteristic of this player. Normally, I break gates in no time. Again, I don't care what he does normally. I'm playing this for this game. I'm not playing this for what's normal. And it is kind of, oh, I have actually an opening here. That that could have been something he could have explored. And I guess he's just arrogant. But anyway, he already lost a lot. And for me, that was good enough. Boom. All those scouts. The damn hell. I got all my upgrades. It sounds like he's in denial, guys. The the quantity of chat he's typing and the tone that he's typing, it comes from a statement of somehow uh, displicent arrogance, like superiority, and oh, this usually doesn't happen. I'm used to go around and dominate the whole place fully. What are you doing? You're disrupting my usual fun that I have here. What? I'm just playing the game, dude. I mean, that's what I'm doing, and I think I won fair and square here. And if I hadn't, well, then I don't care. I went very well. This question. This question is calling you stupid. What civ are you? This guy is calling us and everybody playing this game stupid. I know as soon as I look at this icon that I'm playing Sicilian, that he's playing Sicilians. We all know, especially the people who are used to playing this game, uh, you're more than used to know the symbols, kind of. Especially, except with the new civs, I can understand that. There was a DLC release on the past um, in the past weeks. And of course, there was those Chinese DLCs with that Chinese DLC with 5 civs, but you can still understand that they're the new Chinese civs because of the emblem. So here you see this emblem, which is the Persian civ emblem, and this one is the Sicilian's one. My opponent has the Sicilian one, so it means that opponent is playing Sicilians, and I have this one, which means I'm playing Persians. And I know this straight by heart, even without looking at here the tag tree and knowing that, oh, this symbol refers to Persians. I already know this fully memorized by heart, kind of. This is straightforward. Um, so the question he made was a what aboutist question. It was like just trying to distract me into chat so that I would waste time into chat and would not be concentrated in game. And during that time, he could probably pull out a trick card. It's sad, but that's exactly what this guy did. So I would say this guy is already kind of like going in a grieve mode. He's grieving by the sky, that by the stage, because if you say GG and if you continue normal and making questions that don't make any sense, then you're obviously just grieving. Let's watch how the game unfolds. As the more the game progresses, the more disturbing this whole thing will become. I already warn you. So I send my knights. I know he's open, so I try to take as much advantage as I can for his full opening, and it makes sense. He had so many farms. The guy did not even palisade wall, didn't do anything, which is the typical action a player who wants to scout rush. He doesn't care about walling. He just go straight away forward and tries to get his opponent who is in uh, an old who is in an age behind him. That's the kind of fast and furious attack. You just try to come with scouts before your opponent is even able to make feudal defenses. But I had that already. I'm starting to kill villagers to even out the odds. A few more villagers being killed. I would need to kill at least 3 or 4 in order to stop the game. And he continues to make questions. Now, that is strange. Of course, I lose a knight, but you know, my point was to force idle time on these guys and eventually kill a few villagers. I had to kill villagers to compensate for all his free reign dominance in feudal, free reign actions. Well, he was completely unarmed. I'm sending the pikes. He continues to make questions. He knows my civ. I look at this and he knows that I'm Persians. Anybody knows this civ is Persians. The guy is just gaslighting. I killed a Vil. Then went for the chickens. One thing I could have done here was I could clean out his farms so that he would not get as much food as he would like. It's so toxic. You know, instead of admitting that he lost the game, like any normal and functional person, after realizing you completely lost your military and even typing GG, you continue to gaslight me with stupid questions that you know are stupid, and you continue to pretend you don't know the question is stupid, because everybody knows that this is the symbol for Persians. And this guy is not playing this game for the first time. I could give him the slack if he was literally a new player. He was not. You come with a fast scout feudal rush army, you had everything timed up, you did the right upgrades. You can at least answer. Oh, my answer was clear. I muted the guy after some time. And here I'm sarcastic. Sarcasm is served here. No. Look, I answered. I answered. Same civ. I said no. That is an answer, guys. It is not a clown answer. It is a correct answer. No, my civ is not the same as his. His civ is Sicilian's. My civ is not Sicilian. So it is right in saying that, no, I'm not using the same civ as him. Yes, my civ is Persian's, but I don't care. It's not Sicilian, so it is a right answer. Jesus, Wow. I don't know if this is either retardation or whatever. I think this is an insult to people. Dude, the guy be tripping. The guy be tripping.
Dad gone.
The guy be tripping. You see, he's not even interested in playing the game here. But oh, look, what's going on here? A stable in front of me. Look how sneaky and how dastardly this guy was. Clowning me with questions to get my attention, while in fact he's doing something else. I think that's just utterly disrespectful. It's trying to trick you with malice. It's like saying, don't worry, I'm taking care of it all. And in fact, that person is just trying to backstab you. So, I don't know what kind of individual, I'm not interested, but I'm already getting like very, very nasty vibes about this kind of thing. Because man, you already lost it, and it clearly shows the guy is not putting any effort. This was an experienced player using one of his accounts to clown. And the town center here. Oh my god, what is this? That cannot be. Boom, and I get that. Killing villagers. Can you rebuild with all these vills being killed? Can you? I don't think so. No problem. I'm about to do Rams and the town center is going to damn hell. It's going to... This town center is dead. I already have a few raiding units here to kill villagers. So from here, it is 100% certain I have to win this game. I just cannot see how I cannot win this game. Oh sure, he tried to make knights here on the stable. Maybe his idea was, oh, I'll sneak in a stable behind and then I'll break into his base and start killing villagers. Well, it wouldn't happen like that, and also I have a castle here to protect these villagers. So it's not good for him. Losing all his vills, you see that this player is not being serious. He's just clowning around. And that's the outrageousness of this. The game was over more than 8 minutes ago, and the guy is just grieving. Sure, I can kill the villagers, but the point here is that the guy is just doing this on purpose to annoy me. But you know, he likes his villagers being killed, and I have no problem in defeating it. It's just more annoying. Aha! Now he's using his knight to kill my vills, so he's so happy. Alright. That's what he's doing, he's grieving. I know, I have to be his butler. I need to answer his stupid questions while he makes sneaky stables behind me and whatever else. I tell you, there is something even more disturbing that's going on in this game. As you can see, there was a stable and a town center, well, destroyed, that were sneaked into my base. And I start to think, if he's not doing anything here, and if he had villagers here, on the north, maybe he already sneaked villagers somewhere else. So I'm now about to look at every single corner of the map to find where this sneaky rat is. And it's obviously tricky because I'm still not Imperial Age, I don't have the spice tech, I don't have that. So it would take a tad load of work for me to just explore the whole place and figure out where the guy could be hiding. That is, if I would be able to find him. Because normally it would not be an easy thing to find by itself. My first instinct was the guy is just hiding villagers in the corners. But I did not look everywhere. That's the point. At this time I was kind of distressful because, man, I want to just end the game. It's clearly obvious that I won this battle, fair and square. And the guy, what? He called a crusade against the enemy, sergeants flocked to their cause. Now, a little pause. This is where things get really disturbing. This means that the guy already has a castle. That is the first thing when you see that kind of text. Because the Sicilians, they have a unique tech in Castle Age. That is the First Crusade. And as soon as you researched it, your opponents are notified that the tech has been researched. Well, that's exactly what happened on screen. That means I know that my opponent, at least he has to have a castle. But I have not seen a castle, so where could the Sicilian castle be? And I'm thinking, I'm a little bit, I don't say panicking, but a little bit, a little bit worried. What if said castle is near my base? In a sneaky way, and I don't know, after some time, some sneaky sergeants come out of their hideout and it becomes a hell. And that's exactly why I started to explore like crazy everywhere around my base. I really had to look around for any potential anomaly, any potential anomaly, because if there was to be any castle near my base, that would mean serious trouble. At least I know that it doesn't seem there's anything here. There could be something around in this corner. And oh, I receive an attack bell notification. The sergeants are coming south, so maybe the castle could be around here. That's my thought. You know, another difficulty of this particular game. Once you explore the map, in case the opponent decides to build something after you explore the area, you will not be able to see it. Now, one thing is, uh, you explore the area and there already were buildings in it. Problem is, when the area has been unexplored previously to your opponent making buildings. You see here, he advanced to the Imperial Age. My opponent advanced to Imperial Age, and I say, what the heck? How is this possible? How is it possible for a guy to just have a castle and go Imperial Age? Now, normally I would actually be triggered by this kind of event. It would be worrying. But in this case, I was not a tad bit worried. He lost so many villagers in Castle Age. He lost everything, literally. There's no way he could recover that. And even if by some circumstance he was able to go Imperial Age, his economy is zero-ish. It cannot have a lot of it cannot have a lot of leverage. You cannot just simply start spamming military units, let alone a lot of villagers, if you're even able to have a town center base. Of course, he had a town center base because he was able to win, but his economy must be just in shambles at this stage. Either way, I was kind of like concerned enough because I wanted to make sure that this guy was put down as fast as possible. That this guy had just to be stopped. If I allowed this game to continue endlessly, then I would have myself, I would be setting myself up for a very nasty surprise. And I don't want that. I didn't want that. Here, I notice his sergeants. Okay, I know his sergeants are here. And my troops will be more than well enough to beat him. I'm also going in, as you can see. And he loses his military. Now, I would say my opponent, well, you saw it, is here. I will see it in a very few seconds. It really is disturbing that you come to witness these things in games, and this guy is literally a Great Griever. That's his base. Aha! So that's where you're hiding. A castle in the corner. Disgusting. Disgusting. There's just one word that describes, and it is that. It's disgusting. It could be revolting, it could be upsetting, but I would say is this is just disgusting. I literally can't stand this. A guy that is grieving to the utmost extremism. It couldn't have it this way. This is one of these top experienced players using alt accounts to probably crush noobs or crush players with much lesser experience than him. And since the game was not going as he's used to have, he was not having his adrenaline rush of stomping Smurfs, excuse me, of stomping noobs. Since this guy was not having that adrenaline rush, well, then he just grieved. He just got grumpy and went into a corner. No, I'm not getting the win, so I'm just going to delay this game as much as I can. Literally a toddler-like behavior. They they don't have things their way, and they instantly start tantrums. And this here, this immature little player, understanding that he failed completely, instead of honorably resigning and just accepting his fate, no, he continues to deny, he continues to be in full denial, and I would say slamming his head into the wall because perhaps he thinks that by slamming his head further into the wall, he's going to have any chance. And this is pathetic. This is pathetic. This is not what gaming should be. I mean, after a certain point in time, it's okay if you try to resist a little bit, but this is not resistance. This is pure grieving. You're putting your villagers to a corner so that to make it harder for me to just finish the game. This is literally anti-gaming behavior. That's grieving. If you cannot if you cannot understand that this is grieving, then you must be a griever yourself, my dude. This is not there is nothing, no value that comes from here at this stage. There is no value from a hyperspeed fast timp here, and you just have this against an opponent whose score and everything is this. You're doing this because you want to clown the game. Not only this guy was just in denial the whole time, but it smelled of arrogance. Each move he did was just arrogance display. So what I do, I just have to finish him. We're about to be Imperial. I will do, if not a castle, I will start bringing trebs and bringing military south. I could even start to wall around this place so that he could not sneak villagers away. It's 46 minutes, man. By minute 29 or 30, this game was more than ended. Dude, what the heck is wrong with these people? I mean, it's obvious that he is, but I shouldn't have the need to say him that. Yet, unfortunately, they're so ridiculous that they even refuse to see that. I continue to bring things. He could honorably resign. No, just like a tantrum toddler. Oh, I got to Imperial Age. Are you surprised? Are you surprised that I too know how to press Imperial Age, research Imperial Age, and hit Imperial Age? My god. I think I must have fascinated my opponent when I hit Imperial Age, when I said I hit Imperial Age. Maybe he thought he was the only one with that exclusive tech, right? He thought that, well, no, my opponent will not figure out how to go to Imperial Age. He doesn't know how to use traps. He doesn't know anything. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this clown Griever is about to have his day. He's just delaying things as much as he can. Monastery. Oh, so he probably thinks, oh, I might convert elephants, right? Sure. In any case, the traps are coming. There is even a more toxic aspect that I have not shown you. Now, let's look what he's doing. This is the only time where I will show you what is going on. Prepare. Open your eyes wide. And what you will see will just make you laugh for the whole day. You don't believe me. You don't believe me because you're not supposed to laugh uh, technically at things that I say. You will. Watch. Watch. Watch what's going on here. A trap. We have a trap in the very corner of the map. Now, that technically should be a defensive tool, right? You have a trap, so you probably could use it against other traps or to snipe units in case you could. But now, just watch it, what's going on. The typical AoE 2 player knows that, oh, you have a trap here, the trap is going to attack the town center. Oh, he's over. And now he's doing palisade walls. He's doing palisade walls what for? Look, have you witnessed another thing here in 2 seconds? He deleted his walls, so I suppose, to use his trap in battle and use his trap against my trap. I think that would be the plan. Yes, that would be the plan. But you probably noticed something very odd, in case you were very attentive, that took place in 2 seconds. As the trap started to move, was he effectively able to move away? Look. Move, 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 move! The trap is stuck in tar. He's not moving. He's not moving anywhere. He's in a dead end. Well, I guess this Griever was cornered like a rat he was. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know at the time about this trap and the fact that that trap was blocked by the castle and the walls and that there was still not enough space for the trap to move in between this. So Mr. Perfectionist Calculator failed completely here. That serves him well, and that's the very nugget I wanted to share with you. The Griever had its lesson. I guess karma hit hard on him. Look at him. The wheels of fortune were not with him. The wheels of fortune were definitely not. The trap is still not moving. Look, look, wait. I want to move. I want to move. There is a possibility for him to move his to get his trap, and that is to delete the castle eventually and delete the walls. But then you would delete the castle. You delete the very defense that you made. So it's mind blowing. It would not work. You're going to lose the town center. This guy is doomed. He's putting his trap to attack my trap, converting my trap. What the heck are you doing? The trap is stuck. The trap is stuck, and even the monk cannot save it. Oh my god, look at this. This is a nugget. This is an AO2 insane moment. Whoever tells you that this is not laughable, whoever tells you that this is something that you should not like because the video came from me, well, I tell you, you should just unfollow those because this literally is clown situation. This is laughable by any extent. This is literally this is the comedy. This is the comedy of the day. Look at this. Trapped. He cannot move away. After so much effort, he realizes that he's not going anywhere. Oh, he's unpacking the trap. Finally, something I can attack. He's stuck, but he still can attack me, thanks. Right? What do I do instead? I just destroy the monastery. His res are out. And oh, by the way, if you know this game, you cannot do anything with these resources except repair buildings. You can't even make a lumber camp. You can't do anything at this stage. No market, no nothing. He's going to lose that monastery. Boom. So the only thing that remains for this Great Griever is to just waste all his wood into repairing the palisades or building new palisades and use the remaining stones to repair the castle. The guy is just grieving to the very last minute of his existence. How miserable you have to be, my god. Oh, and by the way, I can hit that castle without his trap hitting me. So I don't know what he planned with that. Now, what's his next move? Use all his villagers to repair the castle. Because 58 stone is really going to make a difference in the HPs of this castle. Perhaps you just need to have 10 villagers repairing the castle at the same time. Look, repair, 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 repair. I still have 58 stone. I can still repair this. Boom, boom. You know what this guy reminds me? He reminds me of debtors who are living on credits after credits after credits. Well, I think the time has paid to face fortune and to face the interest he has to pay. Uh-oh. Nobody fools time. Nobody fools time. So he's dead now, by this time. There is no way for him. He still tries to do these things. I have a trap. Still can use the trap. I'll use the trap, and that's it. And he's vold like a rat. He literally takes it to the ladder. And then I decide to snipe his monk. So he takes his monk away. The last thing he has available for him. Oh, now he calls me a noob. After the master lesson I give him, this arrogant brat calls me a noob. Ridiculous. Maybe he's not used for players like him to teach him the lesson he deserved. He's used to play this game to bully and toy with other people because he thinks people are his toys. No. Time to face reality. I clean everything, man. He can't repair anything at this time. Oh, look me this. I wrecked you 9 out of 8 times. So you play AoE 2 to wreck me 9 out of 8 times. That is your aim and your purpose in life. You don't play this game to improve. You play this game to improve on the number of times of stomping me. I think it pretty much says about the kind of opponent I faced. And I got even more glad to teach him such a lesson. This is the kind of thing that actually makes my day. And the whole thing was so ridiculous that I really needed to share because this is exactly, I know that this is toxic, what he did. It's utterly toxic. But the way I just surpassed that, and the way I just figure a way out for this was even more. It was worthy in itself. In spite of the toxic environment, you might say, I still was able to land very cleanly, and that's what I wanted to show you. It's an inspirational moment, I would say, when a non-experienced, non-Smurf player is able to defeat one of these arrogant little dudes who goes online to just troll on people and to stomp others because he thinks that we are all his butlers and we can just clown around. So the victory here goes for the non-Smurf. It's the David against Goliath, and Goliath here lost. Justice served to this little brat. No last words for this guy. Dead. Total annihilation. Absolute brutality, this game. And I really had the need to put this online. When I was playing this, no. We must really put this out there because it's not because of a show off. It's the outrageous attitude of the player on one hand, but also how I was able to strategically come up with a good answer for that and to not let myself down and to pursue until the very end. This guy was obviously clowning me, and he was not even. Uh, he was just grieving, anti-gaming, coming with stupid questions that he knows the answer already. He knew the answers. He knew my civs, but he was just keeping those questions to delay me, distract me, or think that I would be a fool. And I think that would be just unnecessary. Yes, those were the stats. But anyway, this was my first game I wanted to show you. And now I'm going to show you after a second video, uh, not as distressful as this one, um, but also worth it. And I will put it on the YouTube videos. I hope you enjoy this one. And so if you did, you can just press the like button and you can even subscribe it. And if you haven't, well, I'm sorry, I also don't like grievers. So until then, see you in the next video.